I am Marcus, 48 years old, and Chicago has been my home for as long as I can remember. Its icy winters and vibrant summers etched into my very bones. Every night, as the city lights twinkled like scattered diamonds against the dark sky, I'd pull on my heavy uniform, ready for another shift as a security guard in a towering downtown office building. My routine was a familiar comfort and a quiet burden: greet the last few stragglers, lock up, and then spend the long hours patrolling silent halls, listening to the hum of the ventilation system and watching the empty lobby from my post near the main doors. It was a good job, steady, but it didn't pay enough to escape the constant chill that seemed to settle not just in the building, but deep in my life. My greatest dream was simple: to keep my small family warm. My daughter Sarah had fallen on hard times after her husband left and she lost her job, and now she and my 5-year-old granddaughter Lily lived with me. They were my world, and their well-being was my only focus. But our old house, inherited from my parents, had a furnace that was wheezing its last breath, and the repair estimates were staggering, a sum I could only dream of. The constant gnawing fear, my internal nemesis, was that I was failing them, that I wasn't strong enough, wasn't earning enough, to give them the warmth and security they deserved. Every cold gust that slipped through the cracks in our old windows felt like a personal failure, a reminder of my inability to provide. I worked every extra shift I could get, often taking on weekends and holidays, pushing my tired body to its limits. I cut corners everywhere, skipping lunch, making my single cup of coffee last the whole morning, and mending clothes instead of buying new ones. I was trying to save every single penny for that new furnace, picturing Lily's bright smile in a truly warm home. At work, I'd bring in my own thin jacket, even though the lobby was notoriously drafty. My fingers would ache, and my feet would feel like blocks of ice by morning, but I told myself it was fine, that my family needed the money more. I even tried a temporary fix on our old furnace at home, watching a dozen online videos, twisting wires and tightening screws, only for it to sputter back to life for a few days before dying completely, leaving us back in the cold. Then came the setbacks. Lily caught a nasty cough that turned into a chest cold, requiring an urgent doctor's visit and expensive medicine. Just as she was getting better, Sarah's old, worn-out work shoes finally gave out, and she needed a new pair for the part-time job she'd managed to find. And then my old car, the one I relied on to get to work every day, decided to break down, demanding an emergency repair that swallowed a whole month's worth of my furnace savings. Each unexpected expense felt like a punch to the gut, pushing my goal further and further out of reach. I started to feel the strain in my own body, a constant dull ache, a tiredness that sleep couldn't fix. The cold started to feel like a permanent resident in my bones, both at work and at home. My lowest point came on a truly bitter night in January. The wind howled outside, rattling the massive glass doors of the lobby, and the temperature inside felt only marginally warmer than outside. I was slumped in my chair, trying to rub some life back into my numb fingers when my phone buzzed. It was Sarah. Her voice was small, choked with tears. "Dad," she whispered, "the little space heater we were using for Lily's room, it popped, a spark, and now it's just dead. We have nothing, Dad. It's freezing in here." My heart sank to my stomach. My only consolation had been that Lily at least had that small heater. Now it was gone. I looked at my pathetic savings, a long way from the thousands needed for a new furnace, and even further from being able to buy another temporary heater not after the car repair. A wave of utter defeat washed over me. I felt like a failure, a truly useless grandfather. I pictured Lily shivering, her small body curled up in blankets, and for the first time I thought about giving up. I considered asking Sarah if we should look into homeless shelters, a thought that brought hot tears to my eyes. The idea of uprooting them, of admitting I couldn't even keep a roof over their heads, let alone a warm one, was a crushing burden. I closed my eyes, feeling completely, utterly lost. Just as the despair threatened to swallow me whole, I heard a soft thump near my desk. I opened my eyes, still blurry from unshed tears, and saw a figure in a business suit, one of the last office workers leaving for the night, quickly place something on the floor near my post. They didn't make eye contact, just gave a quick, almost shy nod and walked out into the biting wind. I blinked, confused, then looked down. There, nestled beside my worn boots, was a small, brand-new box, and on top of it a thermos. A small, handwritten note was taped to the box. My hands trembled as I picked it up. It said in neat, unfamiliar handwriting, "Stay warm, Marcus. You are appreciated." My breath hitched. Inside the box was a shiny, new, powerful space heater, still in its packaging. And the thermos was warm to the touch, releasing the comforting aroma of freshly brewed coffee when I twisted open the lid. It wasn't just the warmth of the coffee or the promise of heat from the machine. It was the unexpected kindness, the quiet recognition from a complete stranger who had seen me, truly seen me, shivering night after night. It was an act of pure, unadulterated human connection, a lifeline thrown to me in my darkest moment. A spark not of a dying heater but of hope flickered back to life inside me. The world hadn't forgotten me. I wasn't alone. This space heater wasn't for this freezing lobby, it was for my family. In that moment, I knew what I had to do. I called Sarah back, my voice thick with emotion. "I'm bringing something home tonight, sweetie," I told her. "It's not a furnace, but it'll keep Lily warm." I packed the new heater, feeling a surge of determination. The next morning, with a lighter heart and a renewed sense of purpose, I used some of my meager savings, money I had been meticulously guarding for the furnace, to buy another small, personal space heater, just a simple one for my own guard post. It was a small act of self-care, a quiet acknowledgement that I deserved a little warmth too, so I could keep giving my best to others. And I made a silent promise to myself. A fixed amount every single week would go into that furnace fund no matter what. No more excuses. Months passed, and the anonymous space heater became a silent hero in our home, keeping Lily's room cozy and warm through the rest of that brutal Chicago winter. Its hum became the sound of comfort, not worry. I worked diligently, saved every extra dollar, and with a newfound courage born from that unexpected kindness, I finally approached a local credit union for a small loan, something I had been too proud to do before. And they approved it. A few weeks later, a brand-new, efficient furnace hummed to life in our old house, filling every room with glorious, consistent warmth. The feeling of true security, of warmth that didn't rely on a single, fragile appliance, was a luxury I hadn't known in years. Sarah, buoyed by the stability at home, found a better-paying job. Lily blossomed, her cough gone, her cheeks rosy from playing in a truly warm house. I still worked my security shifts, but now I looked at every person passing through the lobby with a different eye, a deeper understanding of the silent battles people fight. I often left small, encouraging notes for the cleaning crew, sometimes anonymously leaving a box of pastries in the break room or an extra thermos of coffee for the morning shift, quietly paying forward the kindness I had received. My own small space heater, discreetly tucked under my desk, was a constant, warm reminder of that night. One crisp autumn morning, as the chill started to creep back into the air, I was tidying up my guard post. Tucked under my keyboard, I found a small, crinkled drawing. It was Lily's childish hand, a crayon drawing of our house with a big, smiling sun above it, and scrawled beneath it, "Grandpa, thank you for keeping us warm." My eyes welled up, a warmth spreading through my chest that had nothing to do with any heater. A few weeks later, I was covering for another guard in a different building. As I watched the morning rush, I saw him, the office worker who had left the heater. He walked past, deep in thought. I almost called out to him, almost thanked him, but something held me back. Instead, I just offered a small, genuine smile and a nod. He met my gaze, a flicker of recognition in his eyes, and returned the smile, a quiet warmth passing between us. It was a connection that needed no words, a silent understanding that proved the greatest kindnesses are often given without expectation, and that sometimes the universe finds its own way to show you that you are not alone, allowing you, in turn, to become a quiet light for others.